You're listening to Sunset on FBI 94.5 with Mark Dynamix with the Basement Jaxx. Check it out.
Now, usually it's considered the second album is the most frustrating to write. Was this the difficult third album for you guys?
In a way, every album is quite frustrating really at the time, because you just want to get the thing finished and you want it to be just the best thing since sliced bread. And so every album's had its little, trials and tribulations. And this one was also one of those, and it just took a little bit longer probably, and we probably had less of a kind of blueprint for what we were doing in a way. We were really kind of just trying
going off
anything.
into the cosmos, into the unknown.
Yeah, there was less sort of reference points for what we were doing. Yeah,
it all sticks together. I think people maybe just generally in music, well, particularly people from the club culture, I think they're feelers and blinkers are opening, and it's kind of, you can get into different styles and put it all together, which is what we've always done with our parties and our music, and so it's just a reflection of life. That was the natural response to the world as we know it, and making music at this time.
Basement Jaxx 2004.
Natural response on FBI.
Your cut-up style creates some bizarre combinations of sound on tracks like Same Old Show. Do you have any feelings towards Todd Edwards' sound? Does he use the same way of chopping up sound as you guys?
Well, I think Todd Edwards was definitely kind of an influence for us, really, and an inspiration. Like in the 90s, his style of cutting up vocals and stuff.
He was original. He was ahead of the pack. I mean, I don't know what he's doing at the moment, but definitely he developed something new, using technology and but using it in a very human way of like manipulating it.
And he always had a really nice feel for melody and chords. It was very musical what he did.
Yeah.
And soulful. So that was always very nice.
This album's a little bit more, I guess, punky than Rudy.
More punky.
It's a little bit more punky, yeah. And I mean, some say this 80s revival sort of sound. Do you think it will pass as quickly as every other dance fad, such as speed garage or electro clash has? And even if it does, do you think it has re-injected the art of creating proper song structure back into dance music?
Well, I think going out to buy records, there's definitely a lot more songs out there of people just picking up the mic and trying to say something about something. But it seems to be more style driven than kind of than expression at the moment. It's kind of style over substance, but people are trying to do things, so that's good. That's always a good thing. But I mean, with the kind of 80s stuff, we didn't kind of aim for that. That probably came across just because they're sounds that sound interesting again. And like Kish Kash, the track, that very much fits into the kind of electro clash world, but which is exciting because it's something to dance to, but it's not house music. It's a completely different tempo, it's a different feel. So and it definitely kind of has a feeling of like the 80s time, well, probably because it's got Susie Sue on it as well, but we've hopefully given it a bit of a twist as well.
You've toured Australia many times over your career. What can we expect from you this time round, and how will it be different from your previous performances here?
Well, there's going to be new songs, a lot of new songs from the album. New people involved on stage. We've got 10 people on stage.
It's probably more band than before.
It's more of a bandy feel, yeah.
It was probably more of a dance show, well, particularly when we first started out. And well, I mean, we're still, the visuals are probably taken on a new level now as well. So we're definitely just doing a UK tour. People were like, people from MTV were going, God, you've taken it to a new level of what to do with visuals. So that's great to actually be making progress in the kind of world of experience. And Simon plays a lot more guitar. I sing a bit more. There's more singers generally on stage, and it's sort of just less club and more band.
With the singles, have they been supported in Clubland as well as you expected them to be so far, especially since the original versions aren't just sort of typical club sounding tracks?
Well, we didn't make any of the tracks on the album for the clubs, so we thought we can always do club mixes, and we went to Nag Nag Nag, which is like the kind of trendy electro club, and they played Kish Kash there, and people are playing Right Here's the Spot, and I mean, it depends. A Basement Jaxx party, you'd hear Plug It In, Lucky Star, you'd hear all of it, and the drum and bass mixes of Lucky Star have been going really well. They've been really big on the underground, so it's cool, it's fine, but it's kind of, we've made less of that specific house club sound because we're bored of it, and it's like, and most people are bored of it, they want something new.
Tim Deluxe just remixed the second single. Who do you have lined up for the third, and what will it be?
We've got this mix here. This is Switch mixes of Right Here's the Spot, and they've got a definite fresh production sound.
Yeah.
And it sounds really crisp and good on the dance floor. So, and Armand Van Helden's done a mix to plug it in. And then we've done another dub as well, which we've got to listen to now and work out if it's any good.
In some interviews, you're quite pessimistic about dance music and where it's going recently. Although records may not be selling as many units as they did 5 years ago, is the situation that dire overseas?
Oh, I wouldn't say that we're particularly pessimistic about where dance music's heading. It's just like there'll always be dance music and stuff people can dance to, but that genre of electronic house club music, maybe that's died off a bit. But that's alright, it doesn't matter.
The focus has gone on to something else.
Yeah, like you play 160 BPM rather than 130, it doesn't make any difference. As long as people are having a good time and dancing, it's like people get too caught up on what they used to like before and forget that there's a whole new generations of kids who just don't give a shit about that. So it's good, it's all progressing, but either you embrace new things or you just kind of stick with what you used to like and say, but that was great, that was acid house culture. It's like, well, it's gone.
It's a generation gone, that's the thing, the house music.
People can't accept it.
It's not necessarily music of rebellion anymore, you know, it's
music of old guys. And I'm pleased things are changing. They needed to change because otherwise dance music could just eat itself. Particularly in the UK, every single interview we do, they go, the death of dance music, how do you feel? It's like, I think it's an irrelevant thing.
Do you think the press has sort of hammered it into people? Like they're trying to expedite this process, you know?
Well, they always want something to be happening,
because there's clubs all over the place happening, and they're playing house and they're playing drum and bass. And last night we saw the Apex Twin, that was like full on in your face techno, and it's kind of like it was like a ravey kind of.
But it was alive and totally happening.
Everyone was loving it, and it was great. And here we are. So it's nothing's dead.
Yeah.
It's just I guess.
But that's the media thing. The media is generally saying rock is the new thing, and a lot of the old journalists love it because they were always into that, and they missed, and they're kind of this is what I really like. So it's good for them. But in another few years, they're going to be outmoded again because it's going to be something else. It's just fashion, and it doesn't matter. You know. And I think at the moment people are, particularly in dance music, are trying to redefine what is like electronic music. And hopefully it's not going to be what it was before, because electronic music was good because it reinvented and it was irreverent totally to what was going on. The house music, I remember the first time I heard it, I just thought it was completely broken down computer music. It just didn't make any sense, and that was really exciting. But I don't hear many electronic tracks that are exciting. So people are doing what people did before, and there's no point. That's not expressing yourself.
How are you guys picked up in the US at the moment? I mean, the US record industry expected CD singles to be dropped from production in 3 years' time.
I think in America, it's all about selling albums anyway. That's what they say to us. So, and with dance music, that's an irrelevant concept. Like drum and bass is bigger than it's been for ages in the UK. It sells only vinyl. It's nothing to do with internet or whatever. It's just a scene. So I think scenes come and go, irrelevant of what the mainstream record industry is doing. So that's for pop idols and that kind of thing. So
I've got 3 questions here from the public via In The Mix's website. H-Bomb has asked, do you think your fan base have evolved with you to arrive at Kish Kash, or do you think the new sound will bring in a new, different, older fan base?
I think a bit of both. I think some fans will stick with it and like it, and there'll be some, definitely, I know that there are some old fans who are really into that house thing, and they really liked what we were doing with the house music thing, and they want that to carry on. There's less of that on the album, and we might be doing more house music in the future. House music is wicked, but just on this album it happens that we didn't do much of that, and some people are definitely disappointed by that. But I think it will also bring in a new kind of a gang of people. It will hopefully open us up to a new audience, which is cool.
And we've had a lot of comments that people said they kind of listened to it at first and they expected more like clubby house stuff, and but having listened to it, they've got into it more and think it's our best stuff, which I think it is probably our best album that we've done. But it's less immediate. I mean, live fans and people seeing the live shows, the reaction's been really good.
Well, that's the thing.
We haven't had the bad reaction, which we expected we might get.
We started the live show and we thought, because it is less clubby, we didn't know how it was going to go down. It's just been, all the gigs have been wicked. Really, in England, in December we did 2 weeks touring, and it was just jumping and happening. So nothing's changed really. And
I think the audience has changed. Well, just thinking like DJ people I know, in the last year or so, they've been like, God, I'm bored of all this breaks and the house. It's like, I think what the Neptunes is doing is really cool and stuff like that. And you're like, well, Yeah, it is. So it's just people are changing and going, God, actually, that rock record's really good. I can like that as well. It's just like, have you only just realised you're a human being? You know, it's stupid.
Sharp Boy writes, you have been in high demand as remixers over the years, and apparently you have even turned down Madonna. Why was this, and did you think remixing a Madonna record would lessen your credibility?
That was a long time ago that happened, and at the time,
Brittany and Madonna one. That's
we got asked to do
the
that.
most recent
Well,
one.
for that, first of all, we didn't have any time, and secondly, the song wasn't very inspiring. So if we'd had time on our hands and the song was really cool, we'd have probably.
What song was it? Do you remember?
It's the one Brittany and Madonna.
Okay.
Hey Brittany.
We weren't dissing Madonna or Britney or anything. It's just like it wasn't a very good song.
Yeah.
And well, I don't know if it's that one or the Madonna one before. They wanted us to do a mix, and they said, "Do you want to remix the Madonna record?" We're like, "Let's have a listen." Then they were like, "Oh no, you can't hear it yet," which was stupid. Yeah. It's like we're not playing those games because they're celebrities or whatever, and it's so stupid.
Yeah.
We've only just arrived here in Australia, so we're going to find out what the reaction is generally.
Good luck, the singles going down well and getting paid
and
a lot.
going up the charts. I think it's gone in at 28, and apparently they go up in the charts here. So that's great, you know. And apparently it's been played all over the radio here, including your good station, good sir. Yeah, FBI, the original, the best.
I was going to say the.
Felix, Simon, thanks for talking to me while you're here on your Australian tour.
Cool.
Hope you have a good show.
Yeah.